Welcome back. I am Pratap here. Today is the 9th January 2025. In this video, I am going to generate different supply demand zone reports useful to the premium subscribers. Even before that, all of you please understand we are providing complete free training on supply demand zone price action. You might be knowing the cost of the training is over $8,000, but we are providing complete free training. And you can access all the training lessons at our NeoStock YouTube channel. At our channel homepage, please click on the tab Posts. Some of you might be seeing the tab Community. Click on the tab. You get access to our free training course. This post is having a YouTube playlist link that will take you to all the training lessons. You just click on the link. Now we are into the playlist Supply Demand Zone Price Action course. Here you have all the training lessons are available. You just need to scroll down to the bottom of the page. Here, starting from lesson 1.1, all the training lessons are placed in an order. So please go through all these lessons one by one and strengthen your skills related to supply demand zone price action. I have also provided the link to our Telegram channel in this video description. Please join at our Telegram channel. It will be helpful to you. Each time when we release a new video, we will be providing at our channel. Now let's get into the report generation. First, let us generate the stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames. And also we will generate pierced zones for monthly, weekly and daily time frames. And also we will generate price closed inside the zones for the monthly, weekly and daily time frame. We will also filter those stocks based on the EMA Confluence. We will also identify daily and high liquidity demand zones. And after that, we will generate NIFTY and BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. And then I will generate bullish and bearish trade setups for monthly, weekly and daily income trades. And finally, we will generate stop buffers based on daily ATR. Okay, first let us find the stocks near quarterly demand zone. Two stocks are filtered. I am giving you only few seconds time to watch the report. I request you pause the video, study the report and then you can proceed further with the next reports. In case if you do not understand the structure of the report, I request you complete our training lesson 20.1, training lesson 20.1. In that video, I have explained each and every column, their values, abbreviations in detail. Okay, now let me proceed with the next report. Quarterly time frame, stocks near quarterly supply zone. 3 stocks are filtered. Next time frame is monthly. Stocks near monthly demand zone. Nine stocks are filtered. Next, monthly time frame. Stocks near monthly supply zone. 1 stock is filtered. Next, monthly time frame. We want pierced demand zones. That's why in the pierced count parameter at monthly time frame, at least once it should be pierced. Maximum could be anything. Let me giving big number 99. Let's filter. We got 16 pierced monthly demand zones at present. You can use these stocks as per the lesson 28 pierced zone strategies. If you practice good enough, please use them. But out of 16, any zones are having EMA Confluence, even though they are pierced, let's verify. Because new order flows might be created sometimes. At the time, this filter might be useful to you. EMA Confluence at monthly time frame. monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence. During EMA confluence, the trend sideways does not make sense. That's why I'm selecting up or down. So these two are having EMA confluence. Monthly zones are having monthly EMA confluence. Okay, next monthly time frame. For the supply zones, pierced count at monthly time frame, minimum 1 should be pierced. Supply zones, maximum any number. I'm giving a big number. Let's filter. We got 12 stocks are there, pierced monthly supply zones. Out of these 12 monthly supply zones, how many are having monthly EMA confluence? That filter is useful when you are using third strategy, new order flows inside the monthly supply zone. At the time, this EMA confluence filter will be useful to you. So EMA confluence, monthly time frame, I am setting the filter, monthly supply zone having monthly EMA confluence. Trend on the monthly time frame during EMA confluence should not be sideways. So I am selecting up or down. So 3 pierced zones are having monthly EMA confluence. Okay, next monthly time frame. Price closed inside the monthly demand zone, and these monthly demand zones. Okay, monthly time frame, okay. We are including even pierced zones. Let me filter. Total 41 stocks are filtered. I'm showing you the first 21 stocks. So many of these zones are pierced zones. I'm scrolling the list down. So total 40 stocks are filtered, where price closed inside the monthly demand zone. If those monthly demand zones having monthly EMA confluence are even more high probability. Let's verify those stocks. In the EMA confluence, monthly time frame, monthly demand zones having monthly EMA confluence filter is enabled, and in the trend, using trend, these monthly demand zones should not be having sideways. So selecting up or down. Now the list is come down to 24 stocks. Now you are seeing first 22 stocks. I am scrolling the list down. So total 24 stocks are filtered. Price closed inside the monthly demand zone, and those monthly demand zones are having monthly EMA confluence. Okay, next monthly time frame. Price closed inside the monthly supply zone, and these monthly supply zones can be or cannot be pierced. Because you already learned pierced strategy, no need to filter the pierced zone monthly, weekly and daily time frames. So 11 stocks are filtered. Currently price closed in these 11 monthly supply zones. Some are pierced supply zones. Okay, out of these 11, how many are having EMA confluence? Let's filter. So in the EMA confluence at monthly time frame, monthly supply zone having monthly EMA confluence, and trend on monthly time frame should not be sideways. It can be up or down. Now we got 4 stocks. Out of these 2 are pierced zones. One is pierced 5 times and another one is pierced 3 times. Even third one also pierced once. Okay, this is about monthly time frame. Next time frame is weekly. Weekly time frame, stocks near weekly demand zone. 25 stocks are filtered near to the weekly demand zone. I'm scrolling the list down. So total 25 stocks are filtered. Okay, next, weekly time frame, stocks near weekly supply zone, 4 stocks are filtered. Next, weekly time frame, pierced zones, the demand zones, pierced demand zones. Let us filter. For that, I am setting the pierced count on weekly time frame. Minimum 1 piercing is allowed, minimum 1, maximum anything. So I am giving a big number, 99. We got a big list. Total we got 38 stocks, and I am showing you first 15 stocks. I am scrolling the list down. So total 38 stocks are pierced demand zones. Weekly pierced demand zones are filtered. Out of these 38, how many are having EMA Confluence? This EMA Confluence is useful only in the third strategy, pierced zones having new order flows. So in the EMA Confluence, weekly time frame, weekly demand zone having weekly EMA Confluence, and trend on weekly time frame should not be sideways. It can be up or down. We got 10 stocks. These 10 pierced supply zones are having, these 10 weekly demand zones are having a weekly EMA Confluence. Next, weekly time frame, I am setting supply zone, removing this trend and EMA Confluence. Now only pierced count. Already we set pierced count 0 to 99. For that, weekly supply zones we are applying. And we got total 23 stocks. So 23 supply zones are pierced. And first the 15 stocks I am showing in the report. I am scrolling the list down. So total 23 pierced weekly supply zones. Out of these 23, how many weekly supply zones are having EMA Confluence? And this list is useful for the third strategy in pierced zones. Weekly time frame, weekly supply zone having weekly EMA Confluence, and the trend on weekly time frame should not be sideways. It can be up or down. We got 8 stocks. These 8 pierced supply zones are having EMA Confluence. Okay, next, price closed inside the zones on weekly time frame. Price closed inside the weekly demand zone. Let's filter. We got 67 stocks. Currently prices are closed in 67 weekly demand zones. That includes pierced zones. Okay, I am scrolling the list down. So total 67 stocks are filtered. Out of these 67 demand zones, how many weekly demand zones are having EMA Confluence? Let us further filter this list. In the EMA Confluence, weekly time frame, weekly demand zone having weekly EMA Confluence. And the trend on these zones should be up or down, should not be sideways. It can be up or down. Let's filter. Now the list is come down to 27 stocks. So first 16 stocks First 17 stocks. I'm scrolling the list down. So total 27 weekly demand zones where price closed inside the weekly demand zone, and these weekly demand zones are having weekly EMA Confluence. Okay, next report, price closed inside weekly supply zone, weekly time frame. Price closed inside weekly supply zone. Let's filter, including pierced zones. So total 20 stocks are filtered. I'm displaying first 15 stocks. I'm scrolling the list down. So in these 20 stocks, we don't have EMA Confluence. So we set EMA Confluence. How many of these stocks are having supply zones? So in the EMA Confluence, weekly time frame, weekly supply zone having weekly EMA Confluence, and the trend on weekly time frame should not be sideways. It can be up or down. Let's filter. So 11 stocks are filtered. These 11 weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA Confluence, and also current price closed inside those weekly supply zones. Okay, this is about weekly time frame. Next time frame is a daily. Entry time frame daily. Let us find the stocks near daily demand zone. Total 31 stocks are filtered. My God, we got a very big list. Let us identify high liquidity zones from this list. NIFTY Pharma indices we don't use. First one is Adani Enterprises. Next, Atul. Next, CAMS. Next, Canara Bank. Next one is Pierced, we don't use. Next one is Grasim. Next one is invalid, it is a pierced zone. Next one is LIC. Next one is a National Aluminium. Next one is a TI India. That's it. We got 8 high liquidity daily demand zones from this list. It's a very big list. 8 high liquidity zones. Stocks near daily high liquidity demand zones. 8 stocks we identified. Okay, next, daily time frame. Let us find the stocks near daily supply zone. 4 stocks are filtered. Let us identify high liquidity zones from this list. IndusInd Bank is having a daily high liquidity supply zone. That's it. Okay. Next, daily time frame. Let us identify the pierced demand zones. So in the pierced count at a daily time frame, I am setting minimum value 1. At least once it should be pierced. Maximum can be any number. So I am setting a big number, 99. Let's filter. We got 61 stocks. Currently we have 61 pierced daily demand zones. Okay, for your reference, including BANKNIFTY Bank, 2 times it pierced. It was a high liquidity zone. So currently it is moving between a high liquidity supply zone and a high liquidity pierced demand zone. Okay, I am scrolling the list down. So total 61 stocks pierced daily demand zones. Out of these 61, how many of these daily demand zones are having daily EMA confluence? Let us filter. This list might be useful to you when you are using third strategy in the pierced zone, that is new order flows inside the pierced zone. So in the EMA confluence at a daily time frame, I am setting the filter daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence, and the trend on the daily time frame should not be sideways. It can be up or down. Let's filter. We got 5 stocks only. Out of 69, we have only 5 stocks. Only these 5 daily demand zones are having EMA confluence and trend not sideways. See, generally, when a new zone is pierced, uptrend will be changed to sideways. Probably any newly created zones which are recently pierced are filtered. Those stocks won't be useful much for us, but they are useful in terms of finding traps and lower time frame horizon. But this list is useful in case of any new order flows are there inside the zone, and if you are planning based on that strategy, they will be helpful to you. Okay, this is about pierced demand zones with EMA confluence. Next, daily time frame. Let us look for pierced supply zones. So in the pierced count, at a daily time frame, I am setting minimum value at least once. Maximum can be any number. So big number 99 I am setting. Let's filter. So we have total 33 stocks are there. So I am displaying first 15 stocks, pierced daily supply zones. I am scrolling the list down. So total 33 stocks are filtered. These are the daily pierced supply zones. Out of these 33 daily pierced supply zones, how many are having EMA confluence? Let's verify. So in the EMA confluence, at a daily time frame, I am setting the filter daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence, and trend should not be sideways on daily time frame. So I am selecting up or down. Let's filter. We got 6 stocks. So these 6 supply zones or pierced supply zones are having EMA confluence. Okay. Next, price closed inside the daily zones. For daily time frame, let us find the stocks where price closed inside the daily demand zone. That includes pierced zones. So 81 stocks are filtered. Before we further filter, let me show you the complete list for your further reference. I am scrolling the list down. So 81 stocks where current price closed inside the daily demand zone. Out of these 81, how many daily demand zones are having daily EMA confluence? Let us filter those stocks. So I am adding the EMA confluence filter on daily time frame. Daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence filter is enabled, and the trend on the daily time frame should not be sideways. It can be up or down trend. Let us filter the stocks. Now 16 stocks are filtered. From 67 we got 16 stocks. These 16 stocks current price is closed inside the daily demand zone, and all these daily demand zones are having daily EMA confluence, and a few stocks in this list are also pierced zones. demand zones. Okay, next, daily time frame. Price closed inside the daily supply zone. Let us filter the stocks. We got total 18 stocks are filtered, and the first 15 stocks I am showing in the list. Let me scroll the list down. So total 18 stocks are price closed inside these daily supply zones. Out of these 18, how many of these daily supply zones are having EMA Confluence, daily EMA Confluence? Let's verify. In the EMA Confluence at a daily time frame, I am setting the filter daily supply zone having daily EMA Confluence. And the trend and at a daily time frame should not be should not be sideways. So I am selecting up or down trend. Now let me filter the stocks. We got only 2 stocks, 2 supply zones. None of them are pierced. So this is about daily time frame. The next time frame is 125 minutes. Stocks near 125 minutes demand zone. We got 11 stocks. Next, 125 minutes time frame. Stocks near 125 minutes supply zone. We got 7 stocks. Next time frame is 75 minutes. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Let us find the stocks near to the 75 minutes demand zone. We got 9 stocks are filtered. And out of these 9, how many are having high liquidity zones, demand zones? And this is also pierced invalid zone. It's not valid. So we don't have any valid 75 minutes high liquidity demand zones in this list. Okay. Next, for 75 minutes time frame, let us find the stocks near to the 75 minutes supply zone. We got 9 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity supply zones from this list. It is invalid because it is pierced. So Hindalco is a valid high liquidity 75 minute supply zone. That's it. We have only one high liquidity 75 minute supply zone from this list. So that means total 10 stocks we identified. Out of 10, 8 are daily high liquidity demand zones. One is high liquidity daily supply zone, and the remaining one is this one, 75 minutes high liquidity supply zone. Okay, this is about high liquidity zones, and the next time frame is 25 minutes. Stocks near 25 minutes demand zone. We got 8 stocks. Next, 25 minutes time frame. Stocks near 25 minutes supply zone. We got 14 stocks. Next time frame is 15 minutes. Stocks near 15 minutes demand zone. We got 1 stock. Let's verify this 1 stock is having ITF Confluence. That is a 15 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. I'm enabling the filter. Oh, it is having a ITF Confluence. That means this 15 minutes demand zone is part of the 75 minutes demand zone. Okay, next 15 minutes time frame. Stocks near 15 minutes supply zone. We got 7 stocks. Let us verify how many of these stocks are having ITF supply zone confluence. That is 15 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone confluence. With this filter, We got 3 stocks. Out of these 3, first one is invalid. It is a pierced zone. Remaining 2 you can focus. But remember, these are the stocks near. But if you want to really trade on these stocks, you should do the bullish and bearish trade setups or counter trend trade setup, whatever the concepts you are aware, then only you have to use. Directly you can't use them. Okay, next time frame is 5 minutes. Stocks near 5 minutes demand zone. We got 7 stocks. Out of these 7, how many demand zones are having a ITF demand zone confluence? That is 5 minutes demand zone with 15 minutes demand zone confluence. I am enabling the filter. Now 4 stocks are filtered. All these 4 demand zones are part of the 15 minutes demand zone. Okay, next for 5 minutes time frame, stocks near 5 minutes supply zone. We got 13 stocks. Out of these 13 supply zones, how many supply zones are having ITF confluence? Let us verify. That is 5 minutes supply zone with 15 minutes supply zone confluence. I am enabling that filter. Now we got 7 stocks. Out of the 7, second one is invalid. It is a pierced zone. But remaining stocks, all these supply zones are part of the 15 minute supply zone. These are the 5 minute supply zones. They are part of 15 minute supply zone. So this is about stocks near demand and supply zones. Next set of reports are about NIFTY and BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. So let's start with NIFTY. Generating a monthly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. So this is the NIFTY monthly supply demand zone chain. Always look into the zone column to find high liquidity zones. Look into the pierced column to find the pierced zones. And look into the LTF trend always to find the trend of the current time frame you have selected. This is the way you should understand the remaining reports. Okay, next. Weekly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, daily supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. But 5 minutes are, maybe I have to even 15 minutes also. Let me start with 15 minutes again. 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. We have only few demand zones are there. For our further reference, let me scroll the list down. These are the 15 minutes demand zones. You have 15 minutes time frame. Okay, next, 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. All these are all supply zones. So to get the demand zones, I am scrolling the list down. So from 43 you can find the demand zones. Maybe this is good enough, this list. In case if you want more, let me further scroll the list down. So this is about Nifty supply demand zone chain. Next, Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. I'm generating monthly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, weekly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, daily supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. So this is about Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain, but here demand zones are very few. Let me scroll the list down so that you can access more demand zones. What about 15 minutes time frame? Let me verify. 15 minutes. You have list from 20. Maybe this is good enough. Still, if you want more 15 minutes demand zones, I am scrolling the list down. Okay, this is about Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. Next, we will generate a bullish and bearish trade setups for monthly, weekly and daily income trades. And bullish trade setup for monthly income trade, entry time frame daily, entry zone demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at daily, I am selecting bullish. And these, okay, for daily time frame, let us include even pierced zones also. If anybody using third strategy as a reference, they will be useful to you. Only for monthly income trade, because entry time frame daily, so I am using pierced zones also. For those people who wants to use pierced zone strategies, they will be helpful to you. At present, restrict pierced zones up to daily only. Don't go to the 75. 75 you see mix, a lot of mix. Success, failure will be equal maybe. So that's why let us limit to. That's why I already suggested in lesson 28, use pierced zones only for high liquidity zones in 75 minutes time frame. Okay, bullish and zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd and hands score 12, and they should be applied to entry zone, daily demand zone. Let us filter. We got 15 stocks. I think you have few pierced zones also available here, but it is supply zone. Our interest is only on the demand zones. Check any demand zone. Canfin is a pierced zone. And then you have Tata Chemical is also a pierced zone, but it is pierced only once. Okay. It doesn't make any difference whether once it is pierced or 10 times it is pierced, but it is having new order flows or not. That is what you have to verify. Remember, bullish and bearish trade setup pierced zones will be helpful only when new order flows are there. At the time, for finding strong order flows at lower time frames, those zones will be helpful to you. They are supporting bullish and still new order flows are there, means maybe institutions might have added a very strong order flows. That way we can assume. Okay, out of these 15, there could be some high probability zones might be there. Based on the zone confluence, we will filter them. Already you can filter some based on high liquidity zones. But now we are further filtering based on zone confluence. The first filter is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is a daily and a weekly demand zone confluence. I enable the filter. So now from 16, the list is come down to 11. In all these 11 stocks, these daily demand zones are part of the weekly demand zone. Because they are part of weekly, and let us filter based on weekly EMA confluence, because weekly trend is up in all these stocks, ITF trend. So EMA confluence, weekly time frame, I am setting the filter weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence, because daily zone is part of the weekly zone. Let's filter. Now the list is come down to 8 stocks. And these 8 demand zones could be even more high probability trade setup demand zones. This is based on LTF, ITF zone confluence and ITF EMA confluence. Next, let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF and then HTF EMA confluence. Okay, the next filter is LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence. First I have to remove EMA filter because this is ITF filter. We want HTF filter later. So in the demand zone confluence, we need to set 3 filters. First filter is already we set, that is LTF, ITF. Next, daily with monthly demand zone confluence. And third one, weekly with monthly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 1 stock. And this is a Pierce demand zone. Let's verify whether this Pierce demand zone is having any monthly EMA confluence. Because this Pierce daily demand zone is part of the weekly zone. Both together again part of the monthly zone. And monthly trend is up. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at monthly time frame, monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence filter enabled. So that is not having any monthly EMA confluence. Okay, this is about bullish trade setup monthly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup monthly income trade, entry time frame daily. Entry zone is supply zone. And a zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum order enhancer score 12. Let's filter the stocks. We got total 20 stocks and the first 16 stocks in the list. Now you can see the report. I am scrolling the list down. So total 20 stocks are filtered. Now let's verify out of these 20 any high probability setup supported zones based on the zone confluence. First filter is LTF, ITF supply zone confluence. That is a daily and a weekly supply zone confluence. I am enabling the filter. With this filter, out of 20 stocks, we got 15 stocks. In these 15 stocks, these daily supply zones are part of the weekly supply zone. Both are overlapped. Because daily is part of weekly supply zone is having weekly EMA confluence. There are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks because weekly trend is down in all these stocks. Some mistake we did here. Why? Sideways is coming here. Why sideways? Should not come. What mistake I made? I did not select a bearish trade setup. See, that filter is missing. That's why this search strategy always helps. Any mistakes we make, we can identify here. The setup is not having bearish trade setup parameter. So let me go back. In the bullish or bearish trade setup, at a daily time frame, I have to select bearish. I haven't done that. Now let me filter. Now we got only 3 stocks. That means currently bearish trade setup supported stocks are, but we have selected weekly and daily EMA Confluence. Without EMA Confluence, I need to select the filter. So first what I do, let me fresh and daily time frame. Entry zone is supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at daily time frame, I am selecting bearish zone achievement, violated opposing zone, minimum order enhances score 12. Now let me filter. We got 3. So even zone confluence also, all the 3 are filtered. That is what earlier we said, and we got same 3 stocks. But anyway, let us follow the process. In the supply zone confluence, all the 2 filters. Where is that? Daily supply zone with weekly supply zone. Even after setting filter also, we got same 3 stocks. That means all the 3 stocks, these daily supply zones are part of the weekly supply zone. Out of these 3, first one is not having demand zone. That means this is a all-time low supply zone. This daily supply zone is a all-time low supply zone. If that is also violated, there won't be any demand zone. I think all-time supply zone means there are no demand zones. All are supply zones. Sorry. If this supply zone is violated, next supply zone will be displayed. Okay, out of these 3, how many are having ITF supply zone confluence? Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, at weekly time frame. Why weekly? Because daily zone is part of the weekly zone. That's why we are looking for weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. We got 1 stock. Okay, now let's verify how many are having LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence out of the 3. So I'm removing EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled. Second filter daily with monthly supply zone confluence. Third filter weekly with monthly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we did not get any stocks. That means there is no stocks having LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence. That means daily, weekly and monthly zone confluence stocks are not there. Okay, fine. This is about bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next, bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame is 75 minutes. Entry zone is demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup, at 75 minutes time frame, I am selecting bullish. And zones should not be 75 minutes demand zones should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum order enhances score 12. All 3 filters are applied to 75 minutes demand zone. Let's filter the stocks. We got 10 stocks. Currently these 10 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry zone is a 75 minutes demand zone. Out of these 10 75 minutes demand zones, some are already high probability based on the high liquidity zones. But still we can further filter for more high probability zones based on zone confluence. So first filter is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence, that is 75 minutes, and daily demand zone confluence. I am enabling the filter. With this filter, out of 10 stocks, we got 9 stocks. In all these 9 stocks, these 75 minutes demand zones are part of the daily demand zone. 75 minute zone is part of the daily zone. That's why if the daily zone is having daily EMA confluence, because the ITF trend is up. That means daily trend is up. There could be even more high probability stocks. Let's verify. EMA Confluence, daily time frame, daily demand zone having daily EMA Confluence, because 75-minute zone is part of the daily zone. Let's filter. We got 6 stocks. So these 6 stocks are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Okay, next let us filter based on LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence. I am removing EMA filter. That is 75 minutes daily and weekly demand zone confluence. We should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled, 75 with daily. Second filter, 75 minute zone with weekly zone confluence. Third filter, daily demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 5 stocks. In these 5 stocks, these 75 minutes demand zones are part of the daily demand zone. Again, both together part of the weekly demand zone. And the weekly trend is up in 3 stocks, second, third and fifth. If any of those stocks are having weekly EMA confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let us verify. In the EMA confluence, weekly time frame, weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence, and the trend at weekly time frame should not be sideways. Because it is bullish trade setup, I am selecting uptrend. So we got 2 stocks. So these 2 are even more high probability trade setup demand zones. 75 minutes demand zones. Okay, next. This is about bullish trade setup, weekly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup, weekly income trade. Entry time frame is 75 minutes. Entry zone is supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 75 minutes, I am selecting bearish. 75 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So that's why at 75 minutes time frame, pierced count, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. And zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhancer score 12. With all the 3 filters, we got 11 stocks. Out of these 11, there are some already high probability setup supply zones based on the high liquidity zones. Apart from that, we can further filter these stocks based on the zone confluence. First filter is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. So that is 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence. Enable the filter. So with this filter, we got 7 stocks. So in all these 7 stocks, these 75 minute supply zones are part of the daily supply zone. And daily trend is down in all these stocks because ITF is a daily time frame. Because 75 minute supply zone is part of the daily, if daily supply zone is having daily EMA confluence, they are even more high probability setup supported stocks. So I am selecting the filter daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence. Let's filter. We got 4 stocks. So these 4 are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Okay, this is about LTF, ITF and ITF EMA confluence. Next, let us look for LTF, ITF and HTF zone confluence, supply zone confluence. Removing EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, I have to enable 3 filters. First filter is already enabled. Second filter, 75 minute zone with weekly supply zone confluence. Daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF, we got 3 stocks. In these 3 stocks, these 75 minute supply zones are part of the daily supply zone. Both together again part of the weekly supply zone. And weekly trend is down only for 1 stock, Asian Paints. If this stock is having weekly EMA confluence, it could be even more high probability trade setup supported stock. Let us verify. In the EMA confluence, weekly time frame, weekly supply zone having weekly EMA Confluence, and the trend on weekly time frame is down because it is bearish trade setup. The only one stock this filter will be applied. So that is not having EMA Confluence, weekly EMA. Okay, this is about bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame is 15 minutes. Entry zone is a demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 15 minutes time frame, I am selecting bullish, and these 15 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score should be minimum 12. So all three filters are applied to 15 minutes demand zone. Now let's filter the stocks. We got 7 stocks. Currently these 7 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for daily income trade, and entry zone is 15 minutes demand zones. In all these 7 stocks, 15 minutes demand zones, some are already high probability based on high liquidity zones. Apart from that, we can further filter this entire list by using a Zone Confluence, that is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence, to filter the high probability trade setup stocks. So let's add that filter. LTF, ITF demand zone confluence, that is nothing but 15 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. With this filter, we got 7 stocks. In all these 7 stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones are part of the 75 minutes demand zone. And 75 minutes trend, ITF trend, is up in all these stocks. If any of the 75 minutes demand zones are having daily EMA, those stocks are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let us verify. In the EMA Confluence at 75 minutes time frame, because 15 minutes demand zone is part of the 75 minutes demand zone. That's why we are looking for 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA Confluence. Let's filter. We got 4 stocks. These 4 are even more high probability trade setup demand zones. Okay, this is about LTF, ITF zone confluence and ITF EMA confluence. Next, let us look for LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence. Removing this EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled. Second filter, 15 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF, demand zone confluence, we got only 1 stock. So in this stock, this 15 minutes demand zone is part of the 75 minutes demand zone, both together again part of the daily demand zone. If the daily demand zone is having daily EMA confluence, that could be even more high probability trade setup supported stock, this stock. Let's verify. Because daily trend is up in the EMA confluence at a daily time frame, because 15 minute zone together with 75 is part of the daily zone. That's why we are verifying daily demand zone with daily EMA confluence. But entry zone is 15 minutes only. Oh, this stock is filtered. That means this is even more high probability trade setup supported zone. Okay. So this is about bullish trade setup, daily income trade. Entry time frame 15 minutes demand zone. Next, bearish trade setup, daily income trade. Entry time frame is 15 minutes. Entry zone is supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 15 minutes time frame, I am selecting bearish, and these 15 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score 12. All 3 filters are applied to 15 minute supply zone. Now let's verify. We got 14 stocks. In all these 14 stocks, currently supporting bearish trade setup for daily income trade, and entry time frame zones are 15 minutes supply zones. Out of these 14 stocks, 15 minute supply zone, some could be high probability stocks already based on the high liquidity zones. Apart from that, we can further filter for more high probability setup supported based on the zone confluence. So first filter is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. Let's verify. That is 15 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone confluence, not demand zone confluence. Sorry for the mistake. LTF, ITF supply zone confluence. That is 15 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone confluence. I am enabling that filter. With this filter, now the list is come down to 7 stocks. In these 7 stocks, these 15 minute supply zones are part of the 75 minute supply zone, and 75 minutes trend is down in all these stocks. If any of the 75 minute supply zones are having daily EMA, they are even more high probability setup supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA Confluence 75 minutes time frame. Why 75 minutes? Because 15 minute supply zone is a part of the 75 minute supply zone. That's why we are looking for 75 minute supply zones are having daily EMA Confluence or not. Let's filter. One stock is filtered. So this is even more high probability trade setups of 15 minute supply zone. Okay, next let us look for LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence. I am removing this EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled. Second filter 15 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. Third filter 75 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence, we got 2 stocks. In these 2 stocks, these 15 minute supply zones are part of the 75 minute supply zone, both together again part of the daily supply zone. And the daily trend is down in only one stock. If this daily supply zone is having daily EMA confluence, Hindalco could be even more high probability trade setup supported stock. Let's verify. The EMA Confluence at a daily time frame, daily supply zone having daily EMA Confluence. To remove that sideways trend stock at a daily time frame, I am setting downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. No, Hindalco is not having daily EMA Confluence, daily zone. So this is about bearish trade setup for daily income trade. And in the final report, let us generate stop buffers based on daily ATR. Okay, first 17 in this list are indices. First 17, remaining all are equity stocks. I am scrolling the list down. Whichever the stock you want to refer, there you please pause the video. After that you can proceed further. Okay, I am scrolling the list down. So this is the end of the report. Hope this information will be useful to you for our further study and analysis. Let's all meet again in our next video. Thank you.